Before we start, I would like to just take a moment and thank Whit and Dr. Sands and everybody here at Virginia Tech for having faith in me and what we're trying to do here at Virginia Tech. This is a special place. My wife and kids are awfully happy here. I'm happy here. Excited to get to work here every single day. And just was incredibly humbled and honored by that gesture, and excited to continue to move forward and try and build on the fantastic tradition here at Virginia Tech. All that being said, we've got plenty of work to do. Spring ball is well underway. We're getting into a little bit more situation work in terms of 2-minute offense and defense, third downs. We'll move the ball into the red zone a little bit today and through the week. And then next week work on some more specific end-of-game situations, all while trying to evaluate our guys and kind of mold our identity. So, questions?
In terms of that extension, how does that come about? Do they come to you and say, we want to do something? Do you go to them and say, hey, a few more years would help with recruits? What's the...
Well, Whit and Desiree came to me. It was certainly not something I was anticipating, and we had a good talk about our program, about our coaching staff. I couldn't be more proud of our staff here, and the fact that they're all back. I think that speaks volumes. Many, if not all, had multiple opportunities to go somewhere else, and that speaks to Virginia Tech and continuity. And I think those are all good things. But they approached me in our end of the year meeting, and we had a good conversation about what we were doing and where we were going, and that's kind of how it came about.
And was there any, when you have those meetings, did you talk at all about anything you've seen that you need improvements in terms of facility or salary pool for assistants? Did you have any, now that you've been through it a year, any requests of them?
Oh yeah, we talked about all those things.
Did you get any of those things?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you don't want to share any. No. In terms of what you've seen this spring, we talked about the young receivers and Kuma. What have you seen? Is there some depth developing there, and how do you feel about that spot?
Well, I don't know how, I would stop short of saying depth. We're just trying to find 3 guys to start, and but I have been pleased with Eric. Eric has come out and won some 50-50 balls, some contested throws. He's intelligent and can move him around and do some different things. So, he's been the guy that hasn't played very much that has done some good things so far this spring.
You've got pretty entrenched starters at linebacker on the inside, which kind of shifts the focus to the backups. Devontae Beckett being one of those guys. I think Bud mentioned him a couple times last year, maybe showing some things in practice. What have you seen from him this spring?
Well, he's got some football savvy. I mean, I think that's the first thing that you notice. It's part of playing linebacker is somewhat instinctual, and he seems to have those instincts. Ability to kind of navigate tight spaces in there in the line of scrimmage and avoid blocks and find a way to slide in there and make tackles. He's very quick. Short area quickness is something that stands out for him. And he's made huge improvements. Obviously, another year in the system and understanding what's going on has helped him. And he was a productive player for us last year, and in a limited role as a true freshman on special teams, and is continuing to improve in both of those roles, defensively and special teams.
Going back for a second to the receivers, is there something from Patterson or Denmark and those other kids that you're waiting on? What's your evaluation of some of those other guys?
Yeah, just more consistency. I think it's a big leap to go. When you think about what Phil is going through, and Sam, in terms of being a red shirt and being able to run. Now every play is being, whether it's technique or alignment, assignment, or effort, every play is being scrutinized, and being able to do that on a consistent basis is just it's a lot harder than a lot of people may think. And Eric, having been up, and played even in a limited role, I think it's helped him a little bit more than those redshirt guys. I just want to see those guys be more consistent with everything, with their technique, and when they're playing without the ball, and all those sort of things, to be complete players.
I would imagine you take a big picture view of the quarterback competition as a whole, but does it get more interesting for you as you get into situational work, red zone stuff, where it's not critical that quarterbacks make good decisions?
Yeah, I mean, we try our best to simulate those situations, and you want them to be in some bad situations in practice. It's not all going to work out great every time. So, watching those guys react to those things is important. Trying to create some pressure. They're all put enough pressure, quite a bit of pressure on themselves to perform, because they all want to play. But giving them unique scenarios and situations and seeing how they handle those things, it's a lot easier to play quarterback on first down on the 30-yard line than it is on 3rd and 8 or down tight in the red zone. When you've already got points on the board, there are all those things that can go through your mind, or should go through your mind, and trying to create as many of those scenarios as possible is what we're trying to do.
Stephen Peoples is a guy that obviously worked a lot at H-back. What about his skill set makes him a weapon, possibly a tailback?
Well, he has had a good spring running the football, in this short period of time, obviously. But, he's a powerful runner. He's got some explosiveness. He runs probably better than we give him credit for. I mean, he runs well. He's got great pad level. And he's shown some flashes so far. So, we really wanted him to focus on one spot, and not have to carry the mantle of doing both, because we kind of halfway had him at tailback and halfway had him at H-back last year. Let's let him focus on playing tailback and see how good he can get. He's done a decent job so far.
As a guy like DJ Reed, who maybe hasn't broken into as much playing time as he would like, has he progressed enough to the point where he can contribute on a consistent basis?
Not yet. We're hopeful. He had a very good offseason. We're really excited to see him this spring. I would say he's not there yet, but we would all benefit if he would get there. We're really trying to encourage him and egg him on to become a consistent guy for us, because we certainly could use him.
Anybody else for Coach?
How is the second unit of the defensive line? How's that going, depth-wise? Obviously,
We got a lot of work to do in there. Yep. If you think about it, it's really the third unit at D end and the second unit at D tackle. We're very thin on the defensive line, so we need to get some guys back healthy. We're going to need some young guys to contribute, and we're going to need some guys that have not played significant time to step forward, and that is a process, much like the young wide receivers, and we're working through it. We're in no way, shape, or form are we there yet, but I'm glad we got practice today to work on it. We need it.
What have you seen from some of the early enrollees on the offensive side, guys like Khalil Pimpleton and Dalton Keenan? Do you see them making an impact in the fall and playing?
Well, I think they're certainly going to have that opportunity, if for no other reason, because of the positions that they play. We are continuing to try to create some depth at tight end and / H-back, and we don't have great depth. Same thing at wide receiver. So, well, that being said, I have been encouraged by them. They've seemed to pick it up quickly. They're both sharp kids. It is moving a little bit quick for them right now, but I've been encouraged by what I've seen less than halfway through spring, that they're going to have chances to be players for us. I don't know if that'll be this fall or not. I would say they'll have quite a bit of an opportunity to do that, just based on our depth chart.